Shalom, shalom, Masha Shabbat, shalom, Yasharahlah. First and foremost, we give our praises, glory, honor, power unto the Most High, Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, Rakah, Kodash, Aman, Hallelujah, Kwam Yasharahlah, Kwam Yasharahlah, Kwam Yasharahlah. Shalom, shalom to all the brother out down the highway on the byway. Shalom, shalom. To the mighty camps out down the highway on the byway, my beloved brother, our brethren doing the work of the Most High day and night. Shalom. Big shalom to all of you out there. The Lord strengthen you and bless you. Shalom to all the sister, the princesses holding down, right? Helping for the ministry of the Lord, right? As you already know, keep it up, keep up, right? Keep on pushing for the gospel. As you already know, we live in an end time. I just got a notification from my brethren from WFI letting me know, getting that we got a release. I think this past 24 hours, there been some release that say seeing the scene of supposed UFO, right? Unknown aerial vehicle is they say it's growing up, it's going high, right? So we're gonna dive in, Lord willing, if the Most High allow us, we're gonna dive into it. But before, let's dive into these things, man, because this is interesting. Now, Salakia, I get this information almost like maybe 3 months ago, right? I came across this information about the 15-minute or 20-minute or 20 or 30-minute city. Like more than 3 months ago, I saved the article on my phone. And the Most High didn't want me to dive in on it yet. The Most High did not want me until again yesterday. The Most High moved the spirit, say, you know what? Go ahead and work on that video. So a lot of you might be like, well, what is that? 15 minutes. So what we're going to do, all these are satanic agenda from the Babylonian, right? The Babylonian, right? The so-called American, right? The British and the list. These are satanic agenda. These are the work of Satan. These are the work of the deceiver, the devil. And that's the main reason why, as a nation, we always must give glory, honor, power unto the Most High, so the Most High will be merciful and reveal unto us things that are done in secret, in darkness, against us and against the world. So we'll be able to carry on the light. The scripture says, we're the salt of the earth. But if the salt have lost its saltness, what is it good for? But rather to be cast on the floor and to be trodden under the foot of men. And that's why us as a nation will be trodden under the foot of men. When you go in the book of Matthew chapter 5, you read verses 13, I'll say 13 or 12 down to 17, 13 or 12 down through 17, you read about it. With the light that is set on a wall, on a city set on a hill. So we got to share the light. We got to shine the light, brother and sister. And that's what we do. We don't light on a candle and you go put it under a bushel. You don't do that. You don't put it under your bed. No. You put it on a wall, on a candlestick, so it can give light to everyone in your house, in your city, in your community. That's what you do. You don't set a light and you go hide it on the wall, under your pillow or whatever, I don't know. Right? So that's what we got to keep in mind. We bring this thing out, and I believe brother in other camps already brought it out, but the Most High want me to still touch on it, right? So let's go right here. We're going to dive into it. Let me go ahead and I'm going to share my screen so brother can see. We're going to go grab that article because I want to show you. Let me see if it's that the one. So now I'm on this website, is the WEF, right? And this, so that a lot of our people, they'll say, yeah, you're a conspiracy theorist. No. So this website is what official. Most people should know by this website. It's called the World Economic Forum. So the power that be, the elite, they're the one planning for the 15-minute city meet. The 15-minute city meet. And this article literally was published in 2021. November 11, 2021. While you were being seduced by you know what? All right? By you know what? We ain't got to tell you anything. The wicked the heathen that were raging already while you were being seduced about this and that. You see that? This literally from the WEF website. WEF website. The World Economic Forum. So they're not playing, they're serious. They're telling you. All right. So let's read a little bit of the article. All right. Before we dive into it, we're going to bring precept out, things like that. Let me see if I can find some. Okay. Say the 15-minute city. Actually, let me show you something. Right. This is some of the architecture. Right. This is what I do. I go to Microsoft Bing and I just put in 15-minute city. And you can see here is all the plan. These are images. Right. The advantage of the 15-minute city. Okay. You see right there? I'm going to click on one to show you. 15-minute city. All right. So in the 15-minute city, you won't be able to travel. Let's suppose if you live in the city of New York, once the system is set up and implemented, guess what? You won't be able to travel past 15 minutes. You won't be. You can't go see your uncle. Maybe your dad live maybe 30 minutes away from you or an hour. You won't be able. It's over. You can't go see your mother. You cannot go visit, I don't know, whoever you got, your family member, your loved one. You won't be. Once this is set up, if the Most High, YAHAWASHI, if he does allow them to do it, then you got to keep in mind. You won't be able to travel. You won't be able to drive. And now let me tell you this. Let me tell you this. Because the way they come up with it, the way the government, the way they make it sound, when you read it, and you don't have wisdom, you feel good. They make you feel, yeah, within 15 minutes, you have everything you need. Shopping center, you got a mall, you got the gym, you don't need to drive far. Those are the things they're going to tell you. These are the advantage. But guess what? Brother and sister, you won't be able to own a car. Keep in mind. You won't be able to own a car. You won't be able to drive. Keep in mind. If this plan comes to happen, if it be the will of the Most High, Yahweh, BAHASHAM, Yahushai, right? Guess what? You won't be able to travel, brother. You cannot drive your own motorcycle. You won't, because if you try and do it, you're going to get locked up. You're going to go to the jail. Because all this is about climate change. Keep in mind, I'm going to tell you again. Or 20 minutes, some are 10 minutes, some are 30 minutes, 20, keep in mind, is all the agenda, the satanic agenda about what? Climate change, okay, world depopulation, too many people, too many cow pooping. This is too much methane, which is natural. It doesn't hurt anybody. When the cow, when they poop, it doesn't hurt anybody. Actually, these are natural fertilizer, right? But now when you feed this cow GMO, thing like that, that's a different story. Now, again, all this is about what? Too many people living on the face of the earth. The World Forum Economy agenda, a program. That's where they're telling you about what? What are they telling you about? Electrical vehicle. They don't want you to drive no more gasoline car or motorcycle. That's where we're heading to. It's about to get serious. And once the CBDC is implemented, set into effect, guess what? They don't need to force you. You're gonna roll over easily. So keep that in mind. I'm just letting you know. It's just a matter of time. Remember, Joe Biden signed executive order for the branch or some of these, I'll say, secretary to come up with what? A good plan for the world, for a digital currency. Keep in mind, the CBDC is coming. Once the CBDC, the digital central currency, is set up and put into effect, it game over. That means no more cash, no more dollar is out, throw out the window, and you're about to face a reality where a lot of you won't be able to make it. That's where the scriptures say, two shall be in the city, one shall be taken, the other one left. So the righteous will be preserved and the wicked will be taken out. It's very simple. It's very simple. So all these 15-minute city that they're telling you 20, 10 minutes, it's all about world depopulation. It's about the control of your total life. Well, you can't do anything. You can't go anywhere. You can't drive no motorcycle. So, for example, I commute to go to work, right? So if that happen, I won't be able, what they're going to do, because all your job company, guess what they're going to do? They're down with the government. Keep that in mind. Your company, they can't say no to the government because they're working for the government. That's what you need to keep in your mind. A lot of you don't understand that. You're so simple, right? So there might be some brother that, let's suppose they live in Buffalo, New York, but they have the job in Brooklyn, New York. Okay? So what's going to happen if the brother job or company is not, they don't have the similar one in Buffalo? Guess what? They're going to have to move that brother to literally another similar job or company in Buffalo. So he ain't got to go no more to New York, Brooklyn. And he won't operate much. If you own a house, it might be a small house, but mostly will be a lot of apartment. That's why they're building all these things. So, brother and sister, stay in the spirit. Things are going to get worse. Things ain't going to get better anytime soon. And that's why they're making inflation. So you got to keep in mind, inflation is not coming from the tomato, right? That's what you all need to keep in your mind. Because like I say, a lot of our people, they're simple, all right, where they don't use wisdom, they don't think, they just go by the flow. You can't just go by the flow. You got to go to the Most High and make sure what you're doing is correct. You got to go by that of the Most High. So this inflation is man-made. How do we know? Let me explain something. All of a sudden, you see lately, everything is going up, the prices of everything, right? So what they're doing is this. They're destroying a lot of food production places or industry. So doing so, the price, the demand is still high, right? So when the demand is high, the price goes up. You understand? For example, eggs prices is on high right now. Why? Because the demand is so high pretty much every day, right? So like that, they say 50,000 chicken die here. This chicken factory just got that caught fire, blah, blah, blah. Guess what? So the price keep on going up. Now, is it literally the chicken jacking up the price? No. The government is doing it. Men and women doing it along with the government. Okay? This is all design. It's by design. If you don't have wisdom, you cannot understand this thing we're talking about. You need wisdom to understand it. Right? And wisdom is not for everybody. It's only for the elect. All this is by design. You see, gas prices going up. Gas price is going to continue to go up until you literally, you're going to give up your car. Wait, it's coming. Believe me, it's coming. You complain. Remember now, the gas price is already again at $3 something now, right? Based on where you buy from. I don't know where you buy your gas from. Now, the gas price is going to keep on going up. It's going to go up to $7 a gallon, even $10. Wait, it's going slowly. When all hell breaks loose, you're going to see. So that's going to force you to say, you know what? I can't go to work anymore. I need to find a job in my community. They're going to force you all this. You're going to realize that house price is going up. Mortgage is going up. People can't buy houses right now. I got a couple of friends of mine that are trying to buy houses right now, and they cannot because house price is just high. You can't do it. I was looking for a rent yesterday. I went to the store and looked on the thing. When I look at the rent, guess how much is the rent? Only 4-bedroom, 2,100. 2,100. That does not include electricity bill, water bill, gas bill, internet bill. It doesn't include that. Just, and only the rent is $2,100 per month. Imagine. That same house 6 months ago, a year ago, was only maybe 1,200, 1,300, 1,500 the most, 1,500 the most. Today is 2,100. Literally yesterday, somebody told me, I went in the store to look for anything and I saw it right there. I'm like, wow, 2,100. So that's what is happening. So a lot of people, they ended up selling the house because the interest rate is up. They can't pay. The mortgage has increased. The house right now, the house market is volatile right now, is uncontrollable. So people can afford to pay for the mortgage, the interest rate too high, insurance high, everything's like, guess what? They're just selling the house. And guess who's buying it? Bill Gates, the Chase, JP Morgan, the Bilderberg, the Rockefeller, the Rothschild. They're the one buying it. Joe Biden, Donald Trump, they're buying it. So a lot of people, they're downsizing and they're moving to like places, into small apartment, things like that. That's how the 15-minute city is going to work. So they're going to make it sound good. Yeah, you got a gym near. You don't have to drive far, because once the system is set up, you will not be able to drive. Only you're going to walk. You're going to go walking, or you're going to use a bicycle. There might be some mean of public transportation, but it's going to be within the 15-minute city. If you need to go beyond the 15-minute city, you're going to need what? An authorization. Like, remember 2 years ago when that thing was going on? They said, if you want to travel, I received that paper from my job. From my plantation give me a piece of paper. And that paper, if I get arrested or if I get pulled over by the police, they ask me, there is no need for you to be driving now because you know what's going on. I got to take out that paper. I have it on my dashboard. I got to take it out and give it to the police or whoever is going to stop me, okay, or the official that are going to stop me to check where am I going, because there is a curfew, there is what? A couvre-feu, there is a shutdown or whatever. I hand out that paper, and then where you authorize you can go. So until you get that paper, you can't travel. You can't go nowhere. So all hell is going to break loose. Let me read 2nd Ezra, right? I'm going to go to 2nd Ezra quick. This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15 and verse 17. It reads, a man shall desire to, you see, and shall not be able. You won't be able. That's one verse. Now, we know this verse is talking about when all hell break loose, chaos, killing over here, this earthquake, killing, shooting, murder, all type of evil. You can't go out. Where do you want to go? You don't want to go anywhere. You're scared to open your door. You can't go anywhere. Are you ready for this thing? Right? Let's go back to the 15-minute city, right? So all this gonna play. And why this happened? Because the wicked is in power. Who is the wicked? Esau, Edom, Idumea. The power there be Esau, the wicked. You see, Paris, they're already working on it. I think in the USA they got 2 or 3 cities as well. I think they got Washington, Seattle, okay, Kirkland City, that's how they call it. Kirkland City in Washington, Seattle, right? They got one in Oregon, and they got one in Detroit, Michigan. So they're already working on at least 3 cities, 15 or 20 or 10-minute city in the US. Then you get Paris. There is another one in the UK. They're working on 2 in Australia. I think Melbourne City and what is the other city? It's 2, right? So they're working on it. Let me show you some of this email. Okay, take a look at it. Okay, so everything will be right there. 15 minutes. This is the plan. You see that? This is the plan right here. The 15-minute city on Behance. You see that? You got your I don't know, your sports court right there. You see the basketball thing hanging right there, right? You got, I don't know, you got a hospital right here, right? You see that? There is no car, no car. All you see is bicycle. This is your store to go get your clothing, whatever, I don't know. You got everything right there. Your government offices, everything is right there. No car, buddy. There won't be no car. You're going to be walking, or somebody's going to be pushing you, or you're going to be on the bicycle. Let's take a look at some of these, right? Say Chapman Taylor, right? What is a 15-minute city? You see that? They're going to build it for you. They're already building it, right? 15-minute city vision launch for Dublin. You see that? They already launching in Dublin. Dublin, that's an island. So this is serious now. See, there we go again. Master urban planning. Get an urban planning degree. You see, now they're training people for that. People being trained as we speak, and they're getting degree, associate degree, bachelor, PhD, master, and the list goes on and on as we're speaking right now. So certain agenda can be brought forth. The 15-minute city 2021. You see that? These are the projects. You see everything right there. This is the map. Okay? That's the map right there. That's how it's going to be. You see, it's a whole circle. You can't go out of it. Your house, all the apartment, everything will be right there. You can't go anywhere. They might place some type of gates. I don't know. Here is another one. You see the map right there. I just want to share this with you. All these are in Paris, I believe. Right? I believe so. 15-minute city. You see? So this is serious. There we go. You see Paris? Because that plan, they say within 4 to 5 years from now, Paris will be like that. Within 4 years to 5 years right now, Paris will be like that. So brother that live in Paris, hey, this is a warning unto you. All right? Think about moving to the countryside. Get out of the bling, bling, bling city. Get out. You got to humble yourself. Right? There we go again. Okay? Okay? 15-minute city. Again, there we go. It's all over the place. They got it for you. You see, there we go. 15 minutes. You see, they're telling you right there, everything will be within that circle. You can't go out of it. I just want to share as much as I can before I dive into more precepts. You see that? 15 minutes. So this is serious. So what we're going to do, let me see. Let's go back to this website. It said the 15-minute city meets human needs, but leaves desire wanting. Here is why. You see, everybody's on a bicycle. Your politician, they're telling you what is coming for you in the future. This is what your politician, they're telling you. They don't hide anymore. They tell you we worship Satan. And so what? What are you going to do? They tell you right before your face. Right? You see everybody on a bicycle. You see that? They'll tell you where you're going to be healthy. Cycling is good for you. You see everybody walking mostly. You see they're walking. There won't be no car. Maybe government official, there'll be the one, only a one allowed to drive. And you won't be able to drive. You would not be able to drive. I won't read you all this article. So what I'm going to do, he said the 15-minute city aim to reorganize urban space around work, pay attention, around work, home, community, and amenities. The idea is that every need is fulfilled within a 15-minute walk or short bike ride. So no car, buddy. If you live in those city, you won't own a car. Just keep that in mind. We're just letting you know. Think about it. You live in a city, you're happy. I live in New York, oh, blah, blah, blah. Think about it. Just think about it. It's a various city around the world have begun to embrace the 15-minute city approach. You see that? Various cities, they already started. But urban life is about more than access to amenities. And the 15-minute model risk excluding disadvantaged community. Even if there is a 15-minute baseline, great city center with world-class experience should remain accessible to all. You see, I won't get into all these. I won't read you all these things. All right? Right? They said a 15-minute city aimed to reorganize physical space around the human experience of time. Workers can live near their offices. How you going to do that? That means if your job is in Sterling and you live in Winchester, you're going to have to literally either you're going to find a job in Sterling. I mean, you live in Sterling, or you're going to find a job in Winchester. You won't be driving back and forth anymore. You see? Or you live, let's suppose, I don't know, some brother, they live outside of Paris, right? And they work in Paris. So what they say is very simple. Or some brother live in Paris and they work outside of Paris. What they're saying, the power there be, they say, what we're going to do, you're going to have to live where you work. You're going to shop there. You're going to sleep there. Everything you're going to do right there. You ain't going nowhere. Interesting, right? Okay. Worker can live near the offices or co-working spaces, eliminating the commute. I told you, there we go. No driving. No driving. Some of you love to drive, right? You won't be able to drive. You're sleeping. Wake up. You know who is ruling the earth, right? The wicked. The deceiver is being given the earth. Esau, Edom, Idumea, Bosra, Tema, the Chaldean, the sorcerer, same name. I call them the same name. Esau, Edom, they run the whole world. Right? Eliminating the commute. Anyone can walk to a small, all right? A small nearby park without having to hunt for parking space. You see? You ain't got to hunt for parking space. That means what? You don't need to worry about driving. You're just walking, buddy. Community building will benefit too. There we go. Parceling a city into smaller units. Imagine that. Make it far more manageable so it's easy to control you from a social point of view. Various cities around the world have begun to embrace the 15-minute city approach. For instance, Melbourne, right? Australia, I told you earlier, is proposing self-contained community. You see that? So let's go to Job, man. Hold on. Let's go to Job. Why they're doing this? Only for them to run everything. Only for the wicked, that's all. Only for them to control everything. And us, we be the slave. We be the slave forever. That's what Esau, Edom, your Rockefeller, the Lee family, your bank, your JP Morgan, the Chase family, the Morgan family. Hold on. I'll show you. Watch this. Let's go get Job. We're going to go get Job. Let's go get Job. Let's go get Job. All right? We're going to go get Job. Let's go get Job. All right? Let me see if I can get a KJV. Let me get a KJV quick. All right? Let's go right here. Let's go get Job. All right? We're going to go get Job, huh? Because you got to understand. Let's go get. Why all this happening? This is the main reason why this is happening. Actually, you know what? I like to read it from here. Let's go right here. We're going to go get Job, man. Let's go get Job over here. Because I can make it plain on the screen. Let's go do it. Okay. Let's go to 24. All right. It's very simple. This is the book of Job, chapter 9 and verse 24. The earth. Where are we living? We're living on the earth. Like what? Paris, Melbourne, Australia, Paris, France, Detroit, Michigan, okay, Portland, Oregon, Kirkland, Washington, Seattle, Washington, District of Columbia, New York, and the list goes on and on and on, huh? All right. He said the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. So who? Esau, Edom. Who run the earth? The wicked. How do we know? We're going to go a little bit deeper. Hold on. Let's go a little bit deeper. How do we know that it's the wicked that is ruling the earth? The earth is given to the hand of the wicked. All right? He covered the faces of the judges thereof. The judges in the beginning are the Israelites, the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians. We were the judges. And let me show unto you. This is the book of Judges. All right? Let's just go to chapter 1. Let's go to chapter 1 first. And then we're going to jump to chapter 2. This is the book of Judges, chapter 1 and verses 1. After the death of Joshua, the Israelite, hold on, who did he say? The Israelite, the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Indian descent according to the lineage, okay, ask the Lord. It's all capital letter, capital L, capital O, capital R, capital D. Ask the Lord, the Most High, Yahawah, which tribe should go first to attack the Canaanite. That's what they did. They didn't run to the government. They didn't went to Joe Biden. They didn't run to the police. They didn't call on the social services. No. They went and trusted the Most High. They prayed and fast and asked the Most High. That's what they did. We don't operate like that today. Letting they run to the enemy. Letting Jake run to the enemy. No, man. Jump to chapter 4. Israelite. Let's read the answer of God. The Lord answered, the Most High Yahawah. He responded. He answered, Judah, okay, Judah, for I have given them victory over the land. Hallelujah. Judah. Judah. Let's go to chapter 4. Judges chapter 4. All right, we're going to show you. Judges chapter 4 and verses 4. All right. We're going to show you. Okay. We're going to show you. The Most High set up everything in order. But because of sin, that's why we lost everything. That's why Esau, Edom, is ruling over us. The Most High created Esau as his whipping rod against us because we're rebellious and stiff-necked people. We don't deserve the salvation of the Most. We don't. I'm going to just plain. I'm going to put it plain. Some of you may get offended. It is what it is. We don't deserve it because we didn't do any work. What work did you do for the Most High? You were a drug dealer. Some of us were murderers. Some of us were smoking weed. Some of us were like killing people. Some of us we were liars. Some of us we were committing adultery everywhere. We don't deserve it. We don't deserve it. Some of us, we were gang members, right? We were gang members. And the list goes on and on and on. Some of us, we were shoplifters, stealing, looting. Yes. And the Most High, being so merciful, that's all. Not because we did some work. What work did you do? We just wake up in the truth. Some brother just wake up in the truth. Some brother woke up in the truth 20 years ago, some 30 years, some 50 years ago, some 5 months ago, some 3 months ago, some 2 years ago, some 3 years ago. We didn't do anything good. We wicked people. We wicked people, man. All right? So let's continue. We don't deserve it. The salvation of the Most High, we don't, man. We don't. Let's read it. Deborah, the wife of Lapidoth, was a prophet who was judging Israel at that time. You see that? Judging Israel at that time. She would sit under the palm, you see that, of Deborah, between Ramah and Bethel in the hill country of Ephraim, and the Israelites will go to her for judgment. It was not Esau. When you run to the court today, all the picture, the image, you see a bunch of Edomites. So disgusting, man. bunch of Edomite, bunch of heathen. The brother that teach the Bible, they're supposed to be the judges in your court, man. Okay? We're the judges. That's what the scripture says. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? If Esau either is not the wicked, right? Then who then it is then? If Esau, Edom is not the most wicked, the pale skin, the red skin, the pinkish, and the list goes on, who then it is then? When you tell them the truth, then they try and censor you. They try and censor you. They try and shut you down. They try and label you as a what? Hate group, hate crime, blah, blah, blah. Because you're just telling them the truth right before the face, right? Open rebuke. Proverbs chapter 27. Open rebuke is better than secret love. Right? Let me show you. And who is that wicked? Let me show you. Okay, let's go right here in the book of Daniel. We're going to go in the book of Daniel. Let's go in the book of Daniel, chapter 7. All right? Who is that wicked? Right? Let's see. The border of weakness. But let's go to Daniel chapter 7 first. And then we're going to go to Malachi. Right? You got to understand. They're the one pushing for the CBDC, the central bank, digital currency, or whatever you name it, and the 15-minute or 20-minute city where you can't go anywhere. You're going to need a license. You're going to need authorization from the official to be able to leave the 15-minute city or whatever you name it. So it's about to get serious. So let's go right here. I want to go straight to the point. Okay? I want to go straight to the point. Okay? About the fourth beast. Okay? About the fourth beast. Let's read it. I don't want to read everything unto you, but if I want, let's go to verse 7. Okay? Let's read from verse 7. Okay? And I'm going to jump back and forth. This is the book of Daniel 7:7. After this, I saw in the night vision, and behold, a fourth beast. That's Esau Edom. Esau Edom. Okay? The so-called white men, the so-called white people, Caucasian. That's them. The fourth beast, dreadful, they're dreadful. That's why they're waging war against everybody. They stole everybody's territory. And it's not enough. Now they want to confine everybody to 15-minute city, making you feel good. Yeah, you don't have to drive, blah, blah, blah. No. Listen carefully. They're dreadful. They're so evil, so wicked that, like, listen, they come on your land or your house, they steal everything. God given to every nation the inheritance. But Esau, Edom, the so-called white men, stole everything from everybody. They took everything from everybody. All assembly, they're American. All assembly, white people are American. All assembly, white people are French. All assembly. The beginning. How then did that become? So you sit down, you be like, man. But you know why that happened? And I want to show you why that happened. We're going to show you. He said, after this, I saw in the night vision, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible. Esau is terrible. The so-called white man is terrible. They drop bombs on the Japanese. They're terrible. You got to be terrible to kill innocent. You got to be very terrible. They drop bombs on the Japanese. Nagasaki, Hiroshima. They killed the Native Indian. They exterminated the Native Indian. They're waging war against Russia right now, as we're speaking right now. They're doing everything, waging a proxy war against Russia, so they can break Russia into a piece of cake. France is going to take the part like they did in Africa. France wants to take the part. Germany is going to take the part. Poland is going to take the part. Italy is going to take the part. England is going to. That's what they want to do with Russia. But God has not allowed them. God has not allowed the so-called white men to break Russia into a small piece. They had done it back in those days. The Soviet Union. The Soviet Union, yeah, they were able to break it. That was back in those days. The Messiah allowed them because it's part of the biblical prophecy. Now, would they be able to succeed this time? No, it won't happen this time. According to the prophecy, the Russia is going to take them down. The Russia is going to force them to get taken down. That's where they're heading toward. They're themselves, Esau Edom, the so-called white man, he's on the suicidal road right now. They don't realize that, but they're literally on a mission for a suicidal. Literally, wait, you're going to see. Once they reach the door, they're going to do it. Themselves, they're going to do it. They say terrible. Just think about Afghanistan, destroyed. Iraq, destroyed. Libya, destroyed by the hand of the so-called white men. Just think about it. Vietnam, destroyed by the hand of who? The so-called white men. Canada, destroyed by the hand of who? The so-called white men. Just think about it. Just think about it. I mean, that's the fourth beast. They went to India for 200 years. They kept the East Indian under slavery on their own land. Who? The so-called white men who claim to be from England. Just think about it. They're the most terrible nation on the face of the earth. You can't make this up. The Bible is on point. You can find this in the Quran. There's no this in the Quran. And strong as silly. That's why they have the NATO, because they come and they unite. Because they got a weapon, they got a gun. They can drop bombs on anybody. Sudan, Somalia, right? Rwanda. Now, they can do anything they want. The CENTCOM, okay, is a military, I'll say, institution, industry set up by what? America, to rule over who? African country, to oppress them, kill, steal natural resources. That's all they do. And it had greater iron. Keep in mind, that's the wicked. That's the one ruling the earth. Great iron teeth. It devour and break into pieces. Of course, that's what they do. Remember, so-called white people are not from Europe. A lot of you didn't know this. Or you thought that you were from Europe. No. Your forefather, the so-called white men, they stole Europe from the children of Japheth. Yeah. This then now God give us understanding. Hallelujah. The Most High wake us up. The Most High is pouring the Spirit on us. That's how we're waking up. And we're exposing Esau every day. And that's where they're getting mad. That's where they're getting angry. We know we are in spiritual warfare. Spiritual warfare, we know it. We know. Right? Keep in mind, so-called white people, you are not from Europe. Please. You need to stop teaching lies. Please, 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 please. White people are not from Europe. White people came from the cave of Seir. Mount Seir, the mountain. God didn't give so-called white people land. No, he gave you the rocks of the mountain of Seir. And you have to kill the Horite. The Horite, the Horite children, you have to kill them to take over the land. That's what God gave you. You are not assigning the land. So you need the gun, the sword, World War III. You need all this war to invade and stall everybody's country. And you want to talk to people about democracy? You're far away to talk to anybody about democracy. You can't tell the Taliban about democracy. You can't tell them that. The most brute, terrible, dreadful, and wicked nation on the face of the earth are Esau, Edom, Idumea, Bosra. It's very simple. Right? It devour and break in pieces. That's what they did. Go look it up. Go look it up and stamp the residue with the feet of it. And it was diverse. The so-called white man is diverse from all the beasts, from all the nation that were before it. And it had 10 horns. England, Italy, yeah, Germany. Does it sound like somewhere you came from? Esau, yeah. You think you're from Germany? No. When you conquer these people in the land, you name the land after yourself. So like that, you can deceive everybody, making them believe that you're German. No. You are not from the children of Japheth. So you can't be from Europe. You're from the land of Canaan. But the prophecy also told us, say that what? By the sword shall thou live. So then in the gun, then in the bomb. Otherwise, they cannot. They cannot make it. Right? He said, with the feet of it, it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it. It had 10 horns. 10 horns. 10 horns. The Most High. The Bible is on point. Imagine that. Wow. Let's keep on rolling. We're going to get another verses, man. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. View chapter. Let's go back to it. Okay. We read 7. Okay. Watch this. Okay. Go right here to verse 14. All right. Let me go the rest of the bees. So I make him. Okay. Let's read this. Okay. There we go. Jump to 19. Daniel chapter 7 verse 19. Then I would know the truth of the fourth beast. So if you realize right here, Daniel, he was in the Babylonian captivity and the Mede-Persian captivity, right? He witnessed both captivity. Daniel, he was revealed everything that was going on, that will be going on, that has gone, that will be happening in the Babylonian kingdom and in the Mede-Persian. So Daniel was not concerned about the fourth beast, which are what? The Babylonian, the ancient Babylon, okay, Shinar. And Daniel was not concerned about the Mede-Persian. He was neither concerned by who? The Greek Empire. He was not concerned by any of those three. But Daniel, he was more concerned about the fourth beast. Esau, Edom, Idumea. That's why the scripture said, then I will know the truth of the fourth beast, which was diverse from all the others, exceeding dreadful, whose teeth were of iron, and his nail of brass. The nail of brass, because the eagle, that was the beast, the fourth beast, it was not revealed unto Daniel. It was revealed later on unto Esdras. Keep in mind, which devour. What do? They devour, break in pieces, and staple the residue with his feet. Oh, whoa. That's what they did in Europe, in Africa, in Australia, in India, in China. That's what they did, man. And these heathen, they don't want to humble themselves. Esau is always proud. They want to build a 15-minute city. After they have stolen, they have shed much blood on the face of the earth. They don't have enough. They say, no, now we need to confine them in a 15-minute or 20-minute city. Imagine that. After they have stolen, pillaged, and taken the heritage of this nation. Daniel 7:20. And of the 10 horns that were in his head, for whom 3 fell, even of that horn that had eyes. The 3 that fell is what? You got to know it. England, Spain, and Italy. They were the mighty power back in those days. The day that Babylon the Great, aka the United States of America, 1777 or 1776, when they became the supposedly declared independence, guess what? No more Spain, no more Italy, Rome, and no more England. Okay, they're seeing power, but Babylon is the new power now. All the power now focus on Babylon the Great, aka the United States of America. And a mouth that spake very great things, whose looks was more stout than his fellow American. The more stout, they think they're tough. American think they're tough. That's how they feel. They feel like, yeah, we got it. Yeah, we the best. It's the richest country on the face of the earth. We got this. You can't be like us. We the one. We got everything big. We got big car. We got big house, big insurance, everything big. We got big Jordan shoes. We got big Hollywood. That's the spirit. He said, whose look was more stout than his fellow, like more wicked. The scripture say America, Babylon the Great, is more wicked than France, Germany, England, Turkey, and the list goes on and on. That's what he said. Whose look was more stout. America is more wicked, more evil, more demonic than Italy, France, Spain. That's what the scripture say. More stout than his fellow. Imagine that little horn. It's a little horn. That little horn that came up, Babylon the Great. All right, let's see what else he does. I beheld, and the same horn made war with the saint. America, the United States of America. America make war with, because that slavery they did, because we sinned against the Most High. That was horrible. That curse, listen, that curse of captivity, bro. Some of you, I tell you, you have no clue about it. I read some of those books, brother. It's mind blowing. It's mind blowing. Sometimes you cry when you see it. It's mind blowing. It's a heavy, heavy, doopy curse on us. Super doopy, heavy curse on us. Understand? That's what the scripture said. They made war with the saints and prevail against them. Yeah, they prevailed. They won because we sin against the Most High. All right, let's go get it. Let me go get Malachi. All right, we're going to go get it. Malachi 1, and I'm going to jump to verses 3. This is the book of, let's just go to verse 4. All right, we're going to go. All right, this is the book of what? This is the book of Malachi chapter 1 and verse 4. Whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places, right? That's what they're doing. They're building, right? Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down. That's what the Most High says is in the Bible. Is in the Bible. Is in the Bible. They shall build, but I will throw down. And they shall call them the border of weakness. Who is the border of weakness? Esau, Edom, Idumean, Bosra, the Chaldean. Okay? The fourth beast, and the 10 head and 7 horn, you name it, or 7 head and 10 horn. 17 mighty Edomite country. 17 mighty Edomite country. He said, and they shall call them the border of weakness. You understand that? That means if you pass weakness from Esau, Edom, you can't find weakness nowhere else. And the people, the group of people, the people against whom the Lord had war, indignation forever. You understand? You can't change it. You can't pray and fast on that. You can't do it. Don't waste your time. Do not waste your time. Now, why is all this evil? The weakness that we do, that's why this thing happening. These things are not happening, right? Siobhan, all praises be unto the Most High, man. That's right, King. Big Siobhan, all praise be unto the Most High. All praises, man. Happy Shabbat, Siobhan. Happy Shabbat, Shalom, King. Right? Right? So you got to keep in mind, the main reason why this is happening, and I'm going to share with you why this happening. Let's go in the book of Ecclesiasticus 10 and 8. Right? Chapter 10 and verses 8. Watch this. Because of unrighteous dealing, and we're doing that. Black on black crimes. We don't want to keep God's commandment, right? We're selling drug in the corner, right? You see the brother in the corner, he's selling drug. You see the brother, he parked the car, he's acting like he's trying to shop. Guess what? He go in the store, he's dealing drugs, right? They're selling drugs. Imagine that, right? They're getting high, smoking weed, right? They're plotting to kill their own brother, their own sister. That's what God is talking about. Because of unrighteous dealing, injuries, and riches got by deceit. How did these people get their wealth? By deceit. The murder, the lie, the deceit. Imagine 15-minute city is about to happen. That's what we tell brother. Stay in the spirit. You don't know, brother. Start thinking about moving out. You got to think about moving out because you never know We don't know. I see they're saying, for example, uh, I say Oregon, right? So Portland, Oregon. You got Kirkland in Washington, Seattle. You got Detroit in Michigan. And what is the other city I can't remember in the USA already? They're already working on that joint already. So, brother in the spirit, you keep the commandment, stay in the spirit. Start thinking about moving out of city. If you don't want to move from Babylon the Great yet, start thinking about moving fully out of the city before it be too late. Because once it's too late, it be too late, brother. It be too late. There won't nothing you'll be able to do. That's why, we got to start planning ahead, praying, asking the Most High to lead us the righteous way. You got to pray fast, ask the Most High to lead us. Imagine the reason why we lost everything as a nation, even this hidden, because they don't tell the truth. Most of these hidden, they know we the Israelites, right? I be talking to Ethiopian thing like that. I said, do you know the Jew? They say, I don't know the Jew. I say, so you don't know the Jew? He said, no, I don't know the Jew. I'm like, okay, all right. So I try to talk, they act like they don't know it. He said, they don't know who we are. They don't want to tell the truth. Unrighteous dealing, injury, and riches got by deceit, right? You can't become rich by you taking taxes from the people for you to become rich. You're stealing from the people. You're oppressing the poor in the community. You try and take away everything. Talking about 15-minute city where they won't need no need to drive. They say you don't gotta worry about parking because you won't have a car. You're just gonna be walking and you're gonna be using a bicycle. Imagine that. Imagine. And that's why you see right now, Joe Biden, the US government, they have a big incentive for those that will buy electrical vehicle. If you buy EV, electrical vehicles, if you buy those electrical vehicles, guess what? They said they're going to give you 7,000 of tax break. Imagine that. They said we're going to give you 7,000 of tax break. And some, they may get more than that. So like that, guess what they're doing? They're encouraging more people. That is right now, we heard in the Congress, there is a law somebody's pushing. They're pushing for a law to ban what? Gas stove or using gas in a house. They're about to ban it. If the law come to pass, if it get approved, guess what? In the coming year, coming day, you can't have a gas stove in your house. You might not be able to use gas. You might not be able, right? We don't know if the Most High allowed them. It's all about the will of the Most High. But these are on the agenda. They're about to ban gas, natural gas use. Just think about it. Just think about it. All about what? Climate change. Oh, so many cow pooping all over the place. So much meeting. That's what they're telling you. That's what they're telling you. I mean, they're playing God because Esau is sitting on the throne of God. When you go into 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, that's what the Most High says. The so-called white man, he's sitting on the throne of God. Literally. Let me show you. Watch this. Not in the heaven, but he is sitting on the throne of God. Go watch what he said. Because of unrighteous dealing, injury, riches God by deceit, the kingdom, you see that? The kingdom is translated from one people to another. So we lost our power. We lost it as a nation because we sinned, because we had what? Unrighteous dealing, right? Injuries, rich God by deceit. They're selling drugs. They'll go kill the brother. Somebody kill their mother to become top star. Somebody kill their uncle, their nephew to become #1 basketball player. I mean, all type of evil. Riches God by deceit. We saw a couple days ago, a couple of weeks ago, JP Morgan land in Georgia. Guess what he's trying to do? They're going to build like what? Some apartment. What? I'm telling you, they don't have enough. They don't have enough. They're just stealing all over the place. God give to, we don't owe land today. We don't owe anything. We don't owe anything. When you look on our people, so-called African American, they don't owe anything. Native, so-called native, this is the land. After being taken as a slave, that's what God gave them. They don't owe anything. Native Indian. Actually, they call them illegal immigrant or alien. Imagine that. On their own land. You know how, that curse is beyond understanding. Just think about it. The land that God allotted you for a time. The enemy comes in, kill your forefather, take everything away. A couple years, they say it is there, and you don't owe anything. You got to pay rent for them. You got to pay still mortgage on your own land. What a curse. Just, I mean, like, it's mind blowing. Sometimes when I be meditating upon the scripture, like, it blow my mind. I get saddened sometimes because you look at the condition that we live in as a nation. And nobody cares about what we go through. These heathen, they don't care about what we go through. They don't care. They come over here, they do their business, and they go back to their land. They come over here, they do their business, and they go back to their land. These heathen, they don't care whether we've been oppressed, whatever. They don't care about that. They don't want to know. It's none of their business. It's none of their business. And that's why we lost the kingdom. We're going to get it back. However, we lost it because of what? Unrighteous dealing. Injury. So the devil, he's sitting on the throne of God. Let's go bring it out. 2 Thessalonians, right? Let's go right here. We're going to go to 2 Thessalonians. We're going to bring it out. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. Let's go over there quick, right? Let's go bring it out, man. We live in an end time, man. The CBDC is about to be put into effect. Central bank, yes, central bank, a digital coin or whatever you name it, right? Or center, whatever. CBDC, central bank, digital coins or whatever you name it, right? They're coming with it, right? The mark of the beast, they're bringing it out slowly. It's coming. It's coming. Just be wait for you see. Watch this. 2 Thessalonians. Let's go right here, right? We're going to show you, right? They're sitting on the throne of God, not in the heaven, but they're ruling everything. Where they're sitting, Jerusalem. They took over our land. They literally claimed Jerusalem to be theirs, right? Watch this. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verses 3. Let no man deceive you by any means. So they're deceiving our people by this madness right here. 15-minute city. The 15-minute city. You see that? That's what is going on right here. You see that? Various cities around the world have begun to embrace the 15-minute city approach. For instance, Melbourne, Australia is proposing self-contained community. Imagine that. Within an 800-meter radius. It's like a jail, a modern jail. Right? Portland climate action, I told you, is all about climate change. Portland, that's in the USA. Oregon, that's Oregon, in the state of Oregon. Portland, or is that, yeah, I think so, yeah. Climate change action plan called for more vibrant neighborhood in which 90% of the residents can walk or bike to fulfill their daily need. Hold on. Oh my goodness. Am I dreaming? Maybe I'm dreaming. Oh Lord help me. Hold on. Are you kidding me? They say 90% who the advocate Portland climate. Hold on. Let's go back to 2 Thessalonians. Then we're going to go back to this article. He said, let no man deceive you by any means. So what are they using to deceive these people? They're going to make you feel good. Where, you know, the 15 minutes, you don't have to drive farther. You don't have to worry about car insurance. You don't have to worry about gas, buying gas. It's going to be convenient. We're going to have the Nimro house right there. You're going to have your sports center right here. The basketball court will be right there in the corner. The Walmart will be very close. The mall will be right there on the Target will be right there in the corner. Don't worry, the bank will be right there. Actually, you don't have to go to the bank. We're going to set up some apps and you can just check on how much money you get paid 2 weeks ago or next week. You're going to have to do. That's where we're heading. That's what is. Let no man deceive you by any means. Any means. Oh, yeah. It's so many people on the earth. It's climate change. Oh, boy, we can't handle it. Oh, it's too hot. It's too cold. The ice. Oh boy, we got to do something about it. Let us save the world now. Everybody green agenda. That's what they're going to tell you. That's how they make you feel good. And you feel people, oh yeah, it sounds good. Oh baby, oh yeah. Let us have some juice. Let us drink some lemonade and relax, chill out. Oh, it sounds good. Oh my goodness. The Democrat, they're good. The Republican, oh my god, they're working good. Oh yeah, that's how they get you. For that day shall not come except there come a falling away first. So who is going to fall away? Esau, Edom, Idumea, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. Now, most Christians, when they read it, they say, oh, well, it's Satan. Oh, hallelujah. We know no, it's not Satan. Okay? It's talking about a group of people. And we're going to find out who that is now. We're going to see. It's not talking about literally Satan. It's literally talking about what Esau Edom. It's because the way Paul wrote, God give wisdom to Paul. God doesn't want everybody to understand 2 Thessalonians. You got to keep in mind. All right? So don't be too excited. You think that. No. The Most High does not want everybody to understand the Bible. That's not his plan. If he wanted like that, he put it plainly. All right? You got to understand. And Peter, he told you about it. Maybe some of y'all don't know it. We're going to go over there to prove you what we're talking about. Let's go to Peter. We're going to go to Peter because Peter, he warned you about it. We're going to go to the last letter of Peter. So let's go to Peter, right? He was the one chosen. He's that stone that was chosen by the Lord YAHAWASHI, right? So let's go to Peter. Because Peter, he know more than me. Peter, he know more than you, right? Peter, he know more than the camps today, right? So let's go to Peter, all right? That's why he was chosen. So Peter, he know more than we do, right? He know more than all of us today. Let's go right here, okay? We're going to show you because Peter, he warned you. He warned you. He warned you about this thing. Okay, let's go right here. I'm not reading the KJV, the NLT, okay? Let's just read that one. We're going to stay here, okay? We'll stay on the NLT, right? Let's see. And remember our Lord's patience. Give people time to be saved. This is what our beloved brother Paul also wrote to you with the wisdom God gave him, speaking of this thing in all of these his letter. Some of his comments are harder to understand. There we go. So a lot of Christians, when they read the letter of Paul, is to kill themselves. They don't understand that. It's a direct suicidal road. The letter of Paul, don't just jump on that. Paul said it's not Jew, not Greek. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Paul is talking to it. No, you don't understand it. Relax. Just drink some water. Go drink your Kool-Aid to cool your mind, your body off. Relax. Just come down to earth. Because watch this. He said, speaking of this thing in all of his letters. Some of his comments are harder to understand. And those who are ignorant and unstable have twisted his letter. There we go. Christianity, does it sound like your pastor? Maybe this is sound like your pastor, right? Instead have twisted his letter to mean something quite different. You see that? Just as they do with other part of scripture. And this will result in their destruction. You see? So God gave this wisdom to Paul so that some of our people, they're going to get like deceived and they're going to get crushed. Is to bring them to destruction. The result is destruction. So Paul letter, please don't jump on it. Unless you're keeping God's commandment. Listen, if you are not keeping God's commandment, don't go to the letter of Paul. Please don't do it. Don't do it. When Paul said letter to the Roman, they're Jew. They're all Jew. Don't get it twisted. When Paul said letter to the Thessalonians, they're all Jew. Literally, they're all Jew. Ain't nobody there. Because the scripture call us stranger. You go to Isaiah, we call stranger, right? We're the stranger. Because why? We were cast as a slave, scattered throughout the falconry reserve. Some of our people, they look like Esau Edom. You look at some Israelites, they're going to look just as Esau Edom. Because I'm going to tell you, in 400 years, the father was a so-called black man. Let's suppose. The father was a so-called black man. And the father go marry an Edomite woman, a so-called white woman, right? The baby might be light skin, right? He still got some whatever, some complexion. However, that other Edomite woman, another so-called white woman, guess who the baby will look like? The baby will look like literally halfway, half Esau and half so-called black, right? Okay. That baby, he goes on marry another Edomite woman. All right? Imagine. And the cycle continue for 100 years, 200 years. What would that look like? And they continue to marry Esau, the so-called white woman, over and over. What would they look like? They'll look straight just as Esau. Some of them, they may have blue eyes. They may have green eyes. That's why we got to use wisdom. When we see some of these people, we got to dive in it. Where is your lineage? Your father? What is your father's lineage? Things like that. That's the most important thing. Some are people that are going to look like Chinese. When you see them, you're going to think this is a Chinese, but he's not Chinese. He might tell you where my great-great-grandfather, they were slaves taken from West Africa. What you going to do? You're going to look, you see? So that's why we got to be careful, right? We got to be careful, right? They may look just like Esau. So keep in mind, because I have a friend of mine, a brother, he live in Paris. The brother live in Paris, literally, I'm not joking. He's married to Esau, right? If you see the son, you're going to think the son is Esau. Literally, I'm not joking. Literally, mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. Now, guess what? If that boy, he go marry another so-called French woman, a white French woman, guess what? Boom. His son or daughter, they're going to look just like so-called white woman or Edomite. And when you see them, you're going to say, oh, that's Esau. Oh, he's Esau. You don't know it, brother. You got to use wisdom. Use the spirit. Use wisdom. Wisdom and wisdom. Don't quick to jump the gun. Oh, he's Esau. Oh, he's the devil. You don't know it. You don't know, bro. You do not know. Let him tell you literally where his father lineage go back to. And that's it. Then after that, you can address him. But don't go, oh, you the devil. Oh, don't operate like that. That's not the spirit of the Most High. That's why Paul got to write like this. That's why Paul, he sliced them with wisdom. You see how Paul spoke? Paul didn't want to say, well, that's Esau. He didn't want, the Most High doesn't want it to be plain. Only few going to understand. Okay, you understand? He said, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed. So the so-called white man must be revealed. Right now, no one believes it yet. Everybody still believe the white man is God, right? Everybody still believe it, which is fine. It's okay. But when the day comes, he's going to be revealed. He's being revealed right now, slowly. The Russian, they're revealing them already. The Russian, the East Indian, the Chinese, the Arabs about to reveal them, right? I just saw a news today, Venezuela president, right? Maduro he had a meeting, a phone call or meeting with the president of, I think it's Argentina. I can't remember the other country. 3 or 4 countries. I think Brazil, where he had a meeting with Brazil, Argentina, right? He's telling them we need to unite and work with Russia and China. Literally today, it just came out in the news today. Literally today, I read the article today. They said we need to follow our brother. He literally said that. Maduro, he said we need to follow our brother. He said Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin. That's what he said. He said we need to follow our brother and become stronger. We don't want to rely on the hegemony of the United States of America. Literally, that's what it said. I read the article. And if I have time, I'm going to bring it up so brother can see what we're talking about. Literally. So the so-called white man is being revealed slowly till it's going to reach the higher level and everything is going to collapse. That's where we're heading toward right now. Because watch this. Let's take a look at the next verse. He said, who oppose and exalt himself above all that is called God. You know who is doing that? It's the so-called white man. The Chinese, they're bugging out, but they don't bug out like the so-called white man. The Arabs, they're bugging out, but they don't bug out like the so-called white man. The East Indian, they're bugging out, but they don't bug out like the so-called white man. The Ethiopian, they're bugging out, but they don't bug out like the so-called white man. Just take a look at it. The Russian, they're bugging out, but they don't bug out like the so-called white man. They don't. They don't. Just take a look at it. Look at it. It say, who opposes and exalt himself above all that is called God. They're playing God. They go against the Bible. Everything God set up in the Bible, the so-called white man is against it. He is against it. Anything God said we got to do, don't do. God said every nation, they have their land and their territory. Guess what? The so-called white man said, no. Guess what? If you own a house, even though you write a will for your children to take possession of the land when you die, guess what? The government still come, they'll slash them maybe 40% taxes from that land, from that thing. So if the house value, let's suppose the house value is maybe, I'll say $100,000, they're going to slash like 40%. 40%, but taken for it. Or when you die, you don't have a will, the government confiscate your house. Where is that in the Bible? Where in the Bible did God say, if somebody die and leave his land, his house, the government need to take? Where is that in the Bible? Just show me that. I want to see it. Where is that written? What is the where are the Christians? Christians that say they know the Bible. Please show me the chapter, the verse, and I'll read it. Even when you go in the book of Deuteronomy, Leviticus, Numbers, you go to Numbers chapter 27, you read it all the chapter. God told us how we got to do. God give to every land, every nation, the land where they got to be living at. And when you die, you leave inheritance for your son and your daughter. You can't do that as long as the so-called white man is living. How can you do it? Because they're taking everything from people. Native Indian, they don't own land anymore. They used to grow their own grain, their own maize, their own rice. They can't grow anymore because the so-called white man took everything away from them, stole it, and just claim it to be the government. Where is that in the Bible? Right? Where is that in the Bible? If they are not the one opposing and exalting, because God set an order. God say, okay, to the children of Japheth, I give them Europe. To the children of Ham, I give them northeastern Africa. And to the children of Shem, I gave them what so-called Middle East, right? Part of Europe, a liberal part of Europe, and I give them part of Asia. You understand? You understand? The Ishmaelite, I gave them the desert of Arabia. And the list goes on and on and on. God set up everything in order. But the wicked who oppose and exalting himself above the Most High, he changed everything. So that he as God sit in the temple of God, they take over Jerusalem right now. That's the temple of the Most High. And they're ruling over us. Our body is the temple of God. They're ruling over us literally. They divide the house of Jacob into two. Northern kingdom and so they took both. That's why you go to Ezekiel, the Most High, and say, you know what? He's going to cut everybody out of the house of Esau. You can't save Esau. Don't waste your time thinking that you're going to save Esau. How are you going to do it? Are you that simple in your mind thinking that you're going to go against God and save Esau? Really? You're going to save Esau? So you still want Esau when Christ come back, when YAHAWASHI, HAMASHIACH return, you still want Esau to be ruling over you? No, I want Esau in captivity. We want to see Esau straight in captivity. That's what we want. And that's all we want. In captivity, 1,000 years, and then cut off, point blank period. When the kingdom is fully set and established, we don't want Esau. We don't mind having the East Indian, the Chinese. We don't mind having them. But Esau, Edom, no, man. No, that's a cancer on the face of the earth. No, there won't be no peace, man. Because they're going to rise up again and take the land. They're going to do it. Right? So that he as God, they're playing God. The so-called white man, he's playing God all day long. He think he got it. No one is like unto him. That's why they unite. They say NATO, they unite against Russia. We're gonna fight Russia. We're gonna weaken Russia. We're gonna drop bomb. Let's send some tank. We're gonna send Bradley 24, blah blah blah. For no avail. Showing himself that he's God. Yeah, he so think he's God. Then the Most High will confound this devil soon. He's about to be confounded. Like Nimrod. Remember in the Tower of Nimrod? The Tower of Babel? Nimrod doing the same thing. Not like you, but Nimrod was kind of closer. Kind of. The Most High confound Nimrod and put him to death. So keep in mind. Remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you this thing. That's what we're doing too. We're telling our people. And now ye know what we hold it, that he might be revealed in his time. So the so-called white man is going to be revealed eventually. Maybe not right now, maybe not this year, maybe not next year, maybe not within the next 5 weeks, but they're going to be revealed. That's what we wait upon that day. They're going to be revealed. Are they being revealed slowly? Yes, we're seeing it. The nation, they're getting angry every day against the so-called white men. They're getting mad every day. They're getting tired. Slowly and slowly, they're getting tired. Imagine the Chinese and the Taiwanese, they're the same people. The so-called white men go over there trying to divide them, bring the head to collide, to hit each other. That's what they do. They bring division among the same brother, the same people. Same. But they're about to be revealed. Let's see. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now let it will let it until he be taken out of the way. Hold on. Esau be taken out of the way, the so-called white man? Really? That's what the Bible said. This is not my opinion. This is not about how I feel. That's what God said. And we go by that saith the Most High. If you don't go by what God said, then you're going to be in big trouble. Deep, deep trouble. Right? Where you won't be able to come out. So you better be on the side of God. Yeah, are you with God or you against God? You got to pick one side. You can't be lukewarm, right? Let's continue. Until it can be taken out of the way. And then shall that wicked be, you see, it's a capital Y, W, capital W. And then shall that wicked be revealed. When the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Let's continue. All right? Right? Watch this. Even him, now he's about to tell you, is a man. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan. Hold on. Hold on. I thought it was Satan. No. Paul said, the person I'm talking about, the group of people I'm talking about, they're following the work of Satan. That means they are not literally Satan, but they're following the work of Satan. Interesting. Wow. So what group of people? Esau Edom. Esau Edom. Okay? That's the most wicked on the face of the earth. All right? The working of Satan with all power. With all power. And sign and lying wonders. They just lie. 15-minute city. Lying wonders. Right? Let's go back to the 15-minute city, right? And we're going to read this, right? Watch it. He said, but the most vocal proponent of the concept remains Paris. You see that? Where the concept originated. Its mayor Anne Hidalgo has been championing the ville du quart d'heure, so is in French, since early 2020 and has embedded it into a broader plan to promote active mobility in lieu of car. You see, car speed has been limited to 30 kilometers per hour. You see that? On many streets, automobiles have been banned along the same one Sunday each month, and plans to include a biking lane on every street by 2024 are also in the works. You see that? You won't be able to drive. Paris aims to be 100% cyclable city within 4 years. Within 4 years. So within like 3 years from now or 2 years from now, it's going to come to pass. Because this article go back to what? 2021. All right? Imagine that. It's a such experiment are unprecedented, right? And excited and they stand a long-established planning principle since the crisis of the monofunctional modernism in the post-war era. Urban planner and designer have proposed mixed-use development where residents, schools, and shops stand side by side in diverse neighborhoods. The 15-minute neighborhood provides a specific spatial scale and suggests a new model for the larger city, which is devolved into small repeating parts. So you're going to see that coming out in the coming days, the coming month and year, right? Where you won't be able to go to see your mama, your uncle, your auntie. You won't be able. You will not be able, right? Even they're already pushing this already. I see right here, it's sure like Nigeria. But I don't want to get into this because watch this. This is from BBC. BBC News. How 15-minute city will change the way we socialize. You see that? There we go. A new urban planning model will change the French capital and could provide a template for how to create stronger local community and make residents happier. You see, that's how they make you feel good. This kind of make you feel good, baby. They make you feel good. You see that? And during that thing that happened during the 2 years, you know what we're talking about. Guess what? That's when they start pushing for this thing. That's the time they start pushing for. Because guess what? They don't want us to owe anything. They don't want you to owe house. They don't want you to owe any land. They don't want you to. And the so-called white men, the so-called white people that live around me, they call the police. They called the police, and the police showed up to my house. They told me, they said, your neighbor said your chicken making noise. Are you kidding me? When you got dirty, abominable, nasty dog barking all night long, all day long. I don't complain about the dirty dog. Dirty, nasty dog, just like them being dog too, barking all day long, bothering me. I never called the police to complain about the dog, but they complain about chicken because they don't want us to eat healthy. They don't want us to eat organic, right? And the police say, well, you can't own chicken here. You need to have at least 3 acres. That sounds like slavery because you can't own 3 acres in America like that. It's very hard. You might some this day, if the most allow you, but it's kind of hard. That's what I'm saying. Can all so-called black people, can they own like 3 acres of land? They don't want that. The system, they don't want it. Can Latino own 3 acres? No, they don't. Some of our people do own 3 acres, maybe 4 here and there. But as overall, as a nation, we don't. They say, oh, you need minimum 3 acres. Guess what? So they say you need to get rid of the chicken within 3 or 4 days, or when we come back here, we're going to take you to the court. I'm like, okay, and a big deal. I'm in captivity. We're in captivity. It's their kingdom. You see, the so-called white men, they sit as God. There's nothing wrong about raising chicken. But according to the so-called white men, you can't raise chicken. You can't have a natural organic egg. They want you to go buy GMO eggs, GMO maize or corn, GMO rice, GMO gluten-free corn, gluten-free banana, seedless pineapple, seedless woman, seedless man, seedless family. That's what they want you. So I have to get rid of, I have to slaughter most of the chicken. I slaughter most of the chicken, and I got a friend of mine, I got to bring like 2 or 3 onto her. Because she lives in a different city. And guess what? A month later, I went to the post office. We're coming back. Guess what? We literally saw people have chicken in apartment. 5 minutes I walk because the post office is a walking distance from my place. Just walking past, but we saw literally chicken in apartment, walking, running around. But they came to me because I'm a so-called black guy. We know how the thing goes. I mean, come on, man. You can't make this stuff up, right? You can't do anything. It was during the feast of, I believe it was during the feast of tent, the feast of tabernacle last year. I slaughtered a lamb. I slaughtered a lamb and I was dressing the lamb. The next thing you notice, they called the fire department on me. Literally, they called the fire department on me. And the fire department showed up with the ambulance, everything. Wow, they came where they came, they get confounded. Confounded. Oh, we sorry, we apologize. I said, listen, man, the work you're doing, you're wasting the taxpayer money. You know that? I said, whoever call you, right? Let them know. Right? They got to mind their business. They say, oh, we're sorry. I mean, it's the devil. You can't make this stuff up. Listen, I've been to Europe. In Europe, I've been to family houses. Literally, they live in city. They go over there in the market. They buy the chicken alive. They bring it in the house. They slaughter in the sink. And they do everything they got to do. Literally right there. I've been to Luxembourg, Germany, Italy, France, Switzerland, Belgium, Denmark. Literally. You can't do that here in America. But guess what? The so-called white men, they can go hunt a deer. They go kill the deer and bring it to their house and they dress it. They do all type of wickedness. It ain't no big deal. If you happen to be a so-called black man, Latino or Native, you can't do that. You can't do it. You can't do it. Imagine that. You can't. They don't want you to owe any. They don't want you. They just want you to be a subservient slave. Sub. The word sub means under. That's why they're talking about submarine. They're under the water. Submarine. Okay? Sub. The word sub. Okay? Okay? Like you got to be under. You understand? Under. SU. Submarine. Under. Superior. You under him, he over you. They don't want us to owe anything because the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. What else can you do? What else can you do? Right? Listen, I was in Bordeaux and I went to with this brother, and they were like, so we were like almost like 5 to 7. We went to the market, there's open market, everybody's there, all type of people. You go over there, they bought the chicken alive right there. Boom. We brought the house right before me, they slaughtered the chicken right there. You can't have that here, man. You can't even raise chicken. But they can have dogs. Yeah, it's okay. You can hold dogs. But you can't have it. Imagine that. And you to tell me those are not the devil? They sit on the throne of God. They act like the God. And we're going to show you what else are they doing. Right? Let's go to the book of Habakkuk. Right? Because we love this. This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2. And we're going to read straight from verses 9. Right? Verses 9. Let's see what the Most High said. He said, woe to him that covet an evil covetousness. Because the Most High, when you go in the book of Exodus, supposedly the lying Christians say 10 commandments is more than 10 commandments. When you go over there, there is a law on covetousness. The Most High is against covetousness. You can't covet, right? You can't take somebody's land. The government cannot take somebody's house, oh, blah, 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 because they didn't leave a will. Where is that in the Bible? That's stealing. The government is stealing. That's called stealing. Stealing. That's why judgment gonna come on America. It doesn't matter how you like it. You can join all the pastors together. They can pray. Judgment must come on America for the evil, the wrongdoing, the oppression, the stealing, the killing, the murdering. Come on, man. You gotta pay, buddy. You gotta pay, man. We don't deal about your feelings, your emotion, how you feel. That's over. That's for Christianity, in Islam, yoga, Buddhism. They can deal with like they can deal with the emotion. We ain't dealing with that. Isaiah 58, the Most High is clear, man. Say, woe to him that covet an evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high. The so-called white man. He want to be above everybody. The eagle, which is a bird of prey, always on the top of the rocks, looking down on what? The rat, the snake, the cheeks. They're looking on everything. The eagle, which is a bird of prey, they're looking over all everything. They go set the nest high on the rocks where no one can go. You can't go over there. You can't go. All right. He said that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. That's what the so-called white man got in his mind. He think he can run away from the judgment of God by building bunkers. This bunker, they're gonna follow you. Believe me. Wait. When the time is up, the angel of the Most High, they just go, they knock it. It's very simple. The angel of the Most High, they go, they just blow on it. Believe me, the angel of the Most High, they don't need a hammer, they don't need a crate to take it down. No, the angel of the Most High, they go over there, they just blow on it. Or the Most High send earthquake, the whole earth open up and swallow the whole bunker. Whoever is over there sleeping in it, whoever hiding, is very simple. Or the Most High command the mountain and they crush on the bunker and bury everybody. You're gonna run and go hide in the bunkers. Don't be simple, man. Which bunker? Where? Where? This bunker you build, you think is gonna save you? Oh my goodness. You know, this book right here, it goes on it. I got a book on it. I think it is. Is it this book right here? Hold on. Let me see if I can find that book. I got a good book on here, right? Let me see. You see, there we go. You see, this book is dealing with about it. All right. This book right here. Right? This book right here, right? I bought this book a while ago. Okay, keep in mind, this book right here is dealing with it. These two books right here, that's what it's talking about. Okay, they think they're gonna run in the bunker, right? Okay, right? You see the title right here? Look at the title. You see the title? It's a great book, man. It's a great read, no joke. It's a great read. This book right here, let me show you on my screen so brother can see, man. All right. You see that? This, the book right here. See, it's a great read. This book right here is a great read. It's a great one. You see that? You see the title? You see the title? It's a good book, man. I was listening to a radio station where the guy, that's how I know about the book. I was listening to a great radio station, right? They exposed a lot of things. I was listening to it where the guy mentioned this book. It's a great read, man. The title is say the story of the U.S. government's secret plan to save itself while the rest of us die. Reverend Rock, right? Reverend Rock, keep in mind, this is a great read, man. This is a great read. This is a good book right here, all right? This is a great read. Definitely, this is a great read, man. Definitely, man. Expose all the bunkers, everything that they built, right? They have all these warship ready to take them if in case of there be any cataclysm, any chaos, they'll be able to take off. They'll jump on an airplane, Air Force One, and take off and go hide. No, you won't go nowhere. Okay? You ain't going nowhere. You ain't going nowhere, man. You ain't going nowhere. Where you going to go? Nowhere, man. You ain't going nowhere. You ain't going nowhere. Okay? You ain't going nowhere, man. Where you going to hide to? You ain't going to hide anywhere. Right? Even though you plan, that's what you got in your mind. The Most High will confound you, Esau. Right? The Most High is about to confound you. Let's go back right here. Right? Let's go back in the book of Habakkuk. Right? He said, woe to him. Right? Woe to him that covered an evil covetousness to his house. Because like I say, if you go right here, right? Let's go. Let me see. I can bring it out quick. Let's go in the book of Exodus. It's all in the Bible. They don't apply this law, but they want to take your land. Where in the Bible did God say that when somebody leave inheritance for his children, his son, the daughter, the government need to take it? Where is that in the Bible? Where is that chapter? I want to learn. Please show me that chapter, and I'll be happy, excited to read it. Watch this, right? You got to keep in mind, right? This is the book of Exodus, the same book chapter you lie about in the Christian church talking about is 10 commandments. It's beyond 10 commandments, okay? You're simple, right? Watch this. Let's read this. What the Most High said. You must not covet your neighbor's house. Do you understand that? Why are you complaining about my chicken? Why? That's none of your business. You must not covet your neighbor's wife. Why you want your brother's wife as your wife? Go get your own wife, man. Go get your own wife. Why? You want the wife of your cousin as your wife? That's evil. That's what the Most High say. You must not covet your neighbor's house. Anything your brother owns in his house, don't covet. It's not yours. If your brother give you something, that's a different story. But the brother, can I have this? Brother, can I have that? Brother, do you think? No. Go get yours. He said, you must not covet your neighbor's wife, male or female servant, ox or donkey, or anything else that belongs to your neighbors. The Most High said you can't do that. You cannot do that. And that's what they do. Woe to him that covet an evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. No, even though you go hide in the bunker, the Most High bring you down. It's very simple. Thou hast consulted shame to thy house. Who? Esau, Edom, by cutting off many people. Cutting off who? Many people. And has sinned against thy soul. Right? For the stone shall cry out of the wall, and the beam out of the timber shall answer it. And that's what is about to happen. The 15-minute city, you're going to be confounded. Right? Let's read Jeremiah 22. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 22, and verse 13 through 17. And this applies to Esau, Edom, the so-called white men, and it does apply to your out there so-called blacks, African American, Nigerian, Benin. It goes with you too. Because this was one of our forefathers doing this thing. Keep in mind, one of our forefathers, some of our forefathers were doing this thing as well too. Not just only Esau. You're rebellious and wicked so-called blacks, Latino, and Native. You're doing the same thing, right? You're moving your brother landmark, right? He said, woe unto him that buildeth his house by unrighteousness. How was America built? On righteousness. How was France, Germany built? On righteousness. Keep in mind, did so-called was America literally days? No, they're stolen by violence, bloodshed. That's how they got it. Okay, it's in the history. It's written in the history book. It's there. You can look it up. He said, in his chamber by wrong, that uses his neighbor's service without wages. So they don't pay us properly. They pay us like $20, $15, $13 per hour, and you still got to pay taxes on it. Imagine. When brother can't pay rent, brother can't pay mortgage, brother struggling to pay the car mortgage, house mortgage, rent, brother can't afford to do it. Okay, without wages, and give him not for his work. Thou said, I will build me a white house and large chamber. And that's what they're doing. They want us to be slaves, and they're going to build us what? Bunch of 15-minute community city or whatever, and you don't have to drive, you don't have to do anything. You go walking, and you live right there, 15 minutes. You can't see your uncle, your grandma, your auntie. You can't do it. And cut him out window, and it is sealed with cedar and painted with vermilion. Shalt thou reign, because thou closest thyself in cedar? So the Mosai said, are you going to be safe just because you're the government, you're building bunkers? Did not thy father eat and drink? And that's unto the so-called blacks, Latino, and Native, and do judgment and justice, and then it was well with him. So until we do righteousness like Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and the 12 patriarchs, they won't be good unto us. We always going to be catching hell. He judges the cause of the poor. Today we don't do it. So-called blacks, Latino, we want to go by the way of the heathen. We want to follow the way of Esau, Edom, right? He judged the cause of the poor and the needy. Then it was well with him. Was not this to know me, saith the Lord? But that I and the heart are not, but for that covetousness, and for to shed innocent blood, and for oppression, and for violence to do it. That's all the so-called white man is looking for. Shed innocent blood, covetousness, oppression, and violence. That's what they do. They try and take over the land of the Russian. So they want to use the Ukrainian to fight the Russian. Very simple. It's very simple. We don't need to go get a master's degree to understand this thing. No. No. Right? No and no. We don't have to. Right? Let me get Micah. Right? Micah, actually, let's get in the KJV. Actually, I'm going to read this. Right? Watch this. This is the NLT, New Living Translation. NLT version. Micah 2:2. What? Let's see what the Most High say. Let's see. Let's give some glory to the Most High. Watch this. This is the book of Micah 2:2. When you want a piece of land, who? The so-called white man, all right? You find a way to seize it. That's what they do. Violence, or they'll claim it's the government. According to this satanic law, this law of 2020, blah, blah, blah. You cannot have this. You cannot do this. Yeah, because of that, you need to go to the court. Okay, you have your dead. Okay, you can't bury your dead. You need to go to the court. You need a license to go bury your dead. Oh, well, you have a home birth where we can't give you a birth certificate, so you need to go to the court, blah, blah, blah. Weakness, man. They always find a way to take things away from you. Always. Watch this. When you want someone's house, hold on. Does it sound like what Esau, Edom has been doing? When you want someone's house, you take it by fraud and violence. That's what they do. They take it, they took America by fraud and violence. They took Europe by fraud and violence. They took Africa, whole West Africa, South Africa were taken by the so-called white people by fraud and violence. The Conference of Berlin. The Conference of Berlin. You cheat a man of his property. Who is doing it? The so-called white man. They're taking everybody land and turning the rest of the world onto what? 15-minute city. Meanwhile, they're living in a big house, big ceiling house, big window, everything fancy, swimming pool. They got basketball court. Meanwhile, they'll confine the rest of the people. No, the Lord will confound you. Hallelujah, man. On this Shabbat day, we crown to the Most High to confound you, Esau, Edom. Watch this. When you want someone's house, you take it by fraud and violence. You cheat a man of his property, stealing his family. It's in the Bible. Is in the Bible. That's what the so-called white man has done. They stole everywhere. Again, Europe does not belong to them. They're from the mountain of Say. So-called white people are not from Europe. Again, they are not from Europe. I want that to be clear. Okay? If white people been telling you they're from Europe, they're lying. Tell them they're lying. That's a lie. They're not from Europe. So-called white men, they're from Say. First, they were born in the land of Canaan. Right? Let me see if I got it here now. Right? Let me see if I got it here. You see right here, this is Mount Say. You see right there? This is Wikipedia. Right? Wikipedia says Mount Say. Mount Say, Hebrew, is the ancient and biblical name for a mountainous, the mountain, the cave, that's why they call themselves Caucasian. The word Caucasian go back into the cave of the Caucasus, right? Between the Black Sea, Russia, and the Volga region. Right? Let's read it slowly. It says Mount Say is the ancient and biblical name for a mountainous region stretching between the Dead Sea and the Gulf of Aqaba in the northwestern region of Edom and southeast of the kingdom of Judah. Okay, now what I'm going to do, we're going to click on image and I'm going to show you. This used to be the house of the so-called white men. And they left it and they invade Europe, they invade Jerusalem, they invade Africa, they invade Asia, they invade America, everywhere. This used to be the house of the so-called white people, literally, right? This is fact, okay? This used to be the house. Keep on rolling. Show you the image is right there. You see how they build it? That's why when you come to Washington, D.C., you still see the presence of this architecture right there. You see that? You see how they build it? It's on the screen. You can't make this stuff up. Am I making it up? I'm not. These are on Google or Bing, Microsoft Bing. You see? This used to be Esau's structure. You see, somebody get it. There we go. Probably is a brother. I believe it could be a brother. He said, well, Esau's structure, Petra, the capital of Mount Say was what? Petra. 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 See, somebody got it literally. That's what thou should not lie. You see, this used to be the homeland, the origin of the so-called white people. Point blank period. Very simple. So-called white people are not from Greece. They are not from England. They are not from France. They are not from America. They are from Mount Say. Okay, God didn't give Europe to the so-called white people. God didn't give America to the so-called white. They conquered. They invaded. They invade and stole the land and claim it to be theirs. It's very simple. We just want that to be. Look, this is where they used to live. That's why they love the eagle as their power. The eagle is their power. You see that? I mean, you can't make this stuff up. It's right there on the screen. You can't say that we just making it up. You're just teaching hate. No, these are facts. It's right there. You put this up. I didn't put this up. I didn't put this up. You put it up. The so-called white men literally put all these things up. I didn't put it there. You see the entrance, right? There we go. Mountain. You see that? Mount Say, Jordan. You see that? Mount Say. That's what God gave them. That's where God gave them. Hallelujah. You see that? This is the homeland of Esau, Edom. You see that? That's the homeland. All essentially, they stole everybody's land and trying to confine everybody. This is a homeland right there. Thou should not like Petra. You see that? This is their homeland. Doesn't look like some of your building in Washington, D.C., New York. Doesn't look like, doesn't ring the bell. You see the structure, the architecture, same thing. Same thing. Look like the White House. Doesn't look like the White House. Yeah, it does look like the White House. It does look like the White House. Sometimes, yeah, it looks like the White House. Does it look like, well, the Capitol Hill building? Yes, it does look like. The structure. That's where God gave them to be. Mount say, not from Europe. They're not from Europe. Just accept the truth. Face the truth. And stop denying the truth. Tell the truth, man. You see, Mount Edom. Mount say Edom. There we go. You see that? Petra. Does it look like the Congress, some of the pillar, right? The masterpiece, the structure. There we go. Mount say, not in Europe. Not in Europe. And we're going to prove in the Bible. Before we get out of here, we'll prove it. You see that? There we go. There we go. You see it again. You see it again. There we go. There we go right here. You see that? There we go right here. Okay. There we go. This is the homeland of the so-called white men. But what they did, when our forefathers went into slavery under the Babylonian, under Nebuchadnezzar, they took over our land. They start taking over our land. The so-called white men start invading Jerusalem. And slowly, they took over the whole land, the so-called white men, and they start waging war toward Egypt. Then they enter into Europe. That's how they did it. Then they enter into Europe, Greece, and the list goes on and on and on. That's how they gained the whole world. They just wage war. That's what they did. Right? They went northward. Northward. They went toward the north. They conquered everything. Everything. Until this very last day. They're the conquistador on the earth. You see that? Watch this. I like this one right here. Hold on. Let me go back again. You see this right here? I like this one right here. Right? It said Edom, ancient kingdom. Right? You see right there? This is what it is. It said in 1450 BC before Christ. Right? The Edomites were Transjordan. You see that? Transjordan, right? Watch this. After the Assyrian and Babylonian captivity of 722 to 586 BC before Christ, Edom moved into Judah territory. What did they do? They took over our land, the so-called white men. That's what they do. They moved northward. Hold on. Bear with me. There we go right here. You can't make this stuff up. I'm not making it up. No. You see right there? There we go. You can't read it. It might be small. You see that? This used to be their land. There used to be somewhere right here, all the way down somewhere right here. Right? 1450 before Christ. Before Christ, YAHAWASHI, the Edomites, so-called white people, were Transjordan. However, 700 years before Christ, when our forefathers were in captivity or went into captivity, that's what he said. After the Assyrian, northern kingdom, and Babylonian, southern kingdom captivity of 786 or 722 to 786 BC, Edom, so-called white people, invade into Judah territory. They took over so-called black people territory. They took over the land. They took over the land. You can't make this stuff up. Everything we say is in the Bible. They were originally from Mount Seir. I got a video on it. If you don't believe it, you can go ahead and look it up on my channel. They invaded. They didn't even buy. All of a sudden, they want to confine everybody. 15-minute city. Really? 15-minute city after you stole everybody's land? No, you're going to be confounded, Esau. You're going to be confounded. Lord willing. He's still stealing people's inheritance. All of a sudden, we don't own no land. We don't own no land. No land whatsoever. We don't own it, man. All essentially, we don't own no land, man. We are without land now. We lost everything and everything. We lost everything. You understand? We lost everything as a nation. Because the wicked is in power. Because the wicked is in power. Let's go get Isaiah. I love that. Right? Let me see if I can get Isaiah 5 and 8. Let's go get Isaiah chapter 5 and verses 8. Let's go get it. We're going to get Isaiah 5 and 8. And let's go get Isaiah chapter 5 and verses 8. Isaiah chapter 5 and verses 8. Let's go get it. All right. This is the book of Isaiah. Right? Right? You got to keep in mind. Right? Isaiah chapter 5 and verses 8. Let's go get, I'm going to get the KJV. Right? I want to get the KJV. Right? Let's go, because I like the way it's worded. Right? The way they put it, some of this translation, they off a lot of time, but we get the point. So let's go read this, right? Isaiah chapter 5 and verses 8, right? That's what they're doing. It says, woe unto them that join house to house. So that's what they're doing right now. That's the whole agenda. The whole WEF, the World Economic Forum agenda, the power that be the elite, the JP Morgan, Chase Morgan, right? The Rothschild, the Rockefeller, the Lee family, the whole idea, Joe Biden, right? DJ Trump, the whole same old plan. He said, woe unto them that join house to house. They join house to house. That lay field to field. Till there be no place. Till there be no what? No place. They want to take everything. They want to take everything from the nation. That they may be placed alone in the midst of the earth. Imagine now. That's so evil for you to think to take everybody land inheritance, and then confine them to a 15-minute city and you be ruling over them. Just think about it. You got to be a top Satanist to do such thing. Like, you don't have the fear of God. Seducing everybody. Right? Seducing everybody. Imagine that, man. Just think about it. That's all they're doing, man. That's all they're doing. That's all they're doing, man. Because the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. That's all, brother. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked, man. The earth is being given into the hand of the wicked. Right? The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Right? The earth is given into the hand of the wicked, man. Right? Let's go right here. We're going to dive into some of, let me see, I want to close some of this. Watch this. Because this is the one that set up, they run everything, man. You see this? The top 10 family that control the world, right? Top 10 family that run the world. Look at them right here, right? Watch this. You see them right here? Bunch of Edomite. These are Edomite, so-called white people. They run the whole world, man. You see them right there? Let's take a look at some of them. He said, well, he said, the Rockefeller. You see them right there? You see this demon, this devil right here? The Rockefeller, right? These Satanists, man. These Satanists. The Rockefeller, you see them? Just looking at his face, you can see the demon. Right? So disgusting. The Morgans, you see that? There we go. You see that? The Morgan, the house of Saud, the Arabs, the Saudi Arabian, okay? The Rothschild, this family right here, boy, forget about it. Forget about it. Okay? Forget about it. You see that? The Rothschild, all the banks belong to them. It doesn't matter. The Baraks, you see that? The Walton, these are the owner of Walmart. Now, when this devil, when he died, he gave it to his wife and their son, their first son. They're running. They're the owner of Sam's Club and Walmart. The Walmart, Walton Mart. They just remove the tones so that it's not too obvious. Walmart came from what? Walton mat, but they make it sure Walmart. A mat just means it's a convenience store somewhere you can, Walmart, Sam's Club, it belongs to them too, right? The house of what? Windsor, right? Windsor, right? These are your so-called Queen family in England. They're the one. They run everything. The murder, they run all your mainstream media. All the mainstream media belong to this devil. This devil, he owns all the mainstream media. What need to be said? He runs it. He controls the narrative. This guy right here, this family, the murderers. All right? Then you got the Oppenheimers. The Oppenheimers. All right? Then you got who? The Pritzker. The Pritzker, right? Let me grab another article. I love that one. Let me see if I get another one. Let me grab another one. Let me close this out. Let's go to this one. Right? Let's take a look at this one. You see this one right here. Here's another one. This is from Indian Time, IndiaTime.com. These are the 13 families in the world that apparently control everything from politics to terrorism. You understand that? Do you copy that? It's very simple, right? Let me show you some of these. I'm going to read you this. This is from the Rothschild. They're the number one, right? You see this pyramid right here? The elite, they're staying right here with Satan. They're right here on the top with Satan, right? And we, the population, they're right here. These are your man-made religion: Christianity, Judaism, Islam, the yin and the yang, right? Yoga, Buddhism, you name it. All your government, you see the government run everything for you. These are all your company, Walmart, IBM, all your corporation, your central banks, pretty much everything right there. Now, let's read this one. I like this one right here. This is from Nathan Mayer Rothschild. I care not what puppet is placed on the throne of England to rule the empire. So the so-called white men say, I don't care who is the queen or the king of England. I don't care who is the king. He said the man who controls Britain's money supply control the British Empire, and I control the British money supply. They run it. Not only England, they run all the money in the USA. This family, the Rothschild, right? So you keep on going down. Watch this. I want to read you this. I want you to pay attention to this. Because we be telling brother, eat healthy, brother. Do things properly, brother. We've been telling brother for so long. But a lot of our brother, they look on us down, right? This is a meeting in New York or somewhere, the Bilderberg or whatever, right? The Illuminati, right? They claim to be illuminated. They're in darkness, all right? So let's read what he said. The U.S., right? Babylon the Great, in UK, okay, the other horn, government, okay? So keep in mind, hold on, let me put it here. So the people on Instagram, they can see, all right, what we're talking about. They can see. Okay. It's the part that is highlighted. Right? The part that is highlighted, you can read it. Okay. You see the part highlighted? Right here. It said the US and UK government relentless backing for the global spread. The global spread, understand, not only in America, but they're pushing for this thing in Europe, Asia, the Middle East. And that's why Putin is refusing, is fighting them. They're fighting the Russian because Russia is against genetically modified. Watch this. He said, the spread, the global spread of genetically modified seed. Imagine that. What is he talking about? Seedless banana, your Cavendish banana. Cavendish banana. Banana, originally, they do have seed, black seed in it. Originally. However, the so-called white man playing God, he changed and modified everything. They change everything. That's why even though you eat banana, you can't get the health benefit. Why? Because it's not organic anymore. It's not natural anymore. The wicked have tempted. The wicked has modified and changed it. Right? We're talking about what? Seedless cucumbers. Cucumber originally they have seed. Seedless pineapple. Gluten-free banana. Gluten-free tomato. This is the agenda. The US and UK government relentless backing for the global spread of genetically modified seed. That's why, brother, again, watch what you put in your temple, in your body. Because your body, our body is the temple of God, was in fact the implementation of a decades-long policy of the Rockefeller Foundation since 1930s. So this devil, they've been working on this thing since the 1930s when it founded Nazi eugenics research, example, mass-scale population reduction and control. That's why they're bringing out now the 15-minute. They want to control you. The 15-minute city is go back to this agenda and control of darker skin race. Darker skin race. Or is this a conspiracy theory? No. These are facts. Who rule and control over the so-called blacks, Latino, Native Indian? The Anglo-Saxon. Let's read it. Let's just read the article. And control of darker skin races like the East Indian, and the list goes on and on and on, by an Anglo-Saxon white elite. Hold on. So-called white people. The British, the American, the French, the German. Yes, those are the Anglo-Saxon. At some of these circles saw it, war as a means of population reduction was costly. So they realized that war, to reduce world population, it costs them more money. So they need something that won't cost them anything, but they'll be able to reduce and kill more people. Was costly and not that efficient. You see, you can read it on your own. I'm about to look into this book. This book, I'm about to look into it. Right? I already wrote down the title. Let me just make sure I write down the name of the author. Right? This book, it should be a decent book by William Engdahl. Right? William Engdahl. All right. Right? William Engdahl. He knows something. He's not lying. He's not just making it up. He knows something. God revealed unto him some document. Was he able to put it together? So we're going to look into this book. Definitely. Definitely we're going to look into this book. It's a mighty, it got to be a decent book exposing America and the US. You see that at the meeting? I think last week there was a meeting by the bankers where they're talking about how they're going to implement. They don't want people to panic. They don't want people to take their money from the bank, because if the people do that. Look, you see this devil right here? You see this devil, this Edomite devil? Look what it is. John D. Rockefeller. In 1982, he set up one of the first investment management businesses designed to run a single family money. You see that? You see that? Imagine that. Right? Right? See, they're bringing about the new world order. Read this. Look at this devil. David Rockefeller. Some even believe we are part of a secret cabal working against the best interest of the United States, characterizing my family and me as internationalists, right? and of conspiring with others around the world to build a more integrated global political and economic structure. That's why you got the WEF, the World Economic Forum. They're the one pushing for war, the 15-minute, 20-minute, 10-minute, and 30-minute war city. One world, if you will. If that is the charge, I stand guilty. So that means he reckoned. He said, yeah, we're doing it. And I am proud of it. David Rockefeller, you can make this stuff up. Here are some of the family. The AHTHAH bloodline, the Bounty bloodline, the Collins bloodline, the DuPont bloodline, the Freeman bloodline. They owe everything. Listen, they run everything. Your apartment, whatever, you name it. The Kennedy bloodline, the Lee bloodline, the Onassis bloodline, the Rockefeller bloodline. You see that? The Russell bloodline, the Van Duyn bloodline, the Merovingian bloodline, and the Rothschild bloodline. You can't make this stuff up, brother. You can't make this stuff up. You cannot. Let me see if I can get it. There was one. Let me see. There was one I want to show you. Let me see how I can get it. Right? That's where we're heading to, man. That's where we're heading to, brother and sister. It's about to get very, very worse. That's what we tell brother and sister. Some of our people, they don't understand it. We told you over and over. Things won't get better. Things just going to get worse. Things going to escalate. You understand? Who owns most of your apartment? Who owns it? When you go find it out, Chase, MAA, and the list goes on and on and on, man. You see this? This devil, they run the whole thing. You see this guy right here? You see this guy right here? When you click on this guy right here, watch this. See? Right? He all this Edomite on the screen. His name is Barry Sternlich. Barry Sternlich. Right? He said November 27, 1960, New York City. He was born over there, right? But his father is from Poland. Right? We can read about it here. Watch this. Barry Stuart Sternlich, born November 27, 1960, is an American billionaire and the co-founder with Buffett, chairman and CEO of Starwood Capital Group. Starwood, what they do, they build apartment. They buy land and they build apartment upon apartment. That's what they do. That's what they do. An investment firm with over 60 billion in assets under management. He's also chairman of Starwood Property Trust. He is the co-founder, right? Imagine. Co-founder, right? Imagine this thing. They run everything. They run everything. This devil. They run the apartment, man. They run the apartment. Most of the apartment. Everything. Just think about it. This devil. This devil. Here is another one. MAA apartment. Who is the owner and Edomite? A so-called white man. His name is founder George E. Kate. George E. Kate. Founded in 1977. Imagine that. Mid-America apartment community. They own it. Everything. This is the devil right here. This devil right here. This is the devil right here. They run everything. It's still, they won't leave us alone. Now, they want to reduce her into a 15 to 20 minutes city where you can't go anywhere, you can't have a car, you can drive, blah, blah, blah. But we pray, the Lord confound them, right? Let's dive into this thing right here now. Let's get into the UFO. Let me share this with you. Right, we're gonna dive into this, right? Let's dive into this. Bear with me, right? Let's see. This is going on right now, right? You say, let's click on this, for example.
Look at this thing. It's rotating. Wow, look at that, man. Look at the fly.
So fair use. We want to put out there, we want to say fair use for YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, fair use. All right. So UFO sighting surpassed 500 in declassified UAP report. The report came out yesterday, I believe. Yesterday, the report came out. Yesterday, the report came out. Serpent. So understand. So Esau is concerned. Yeah, this is about the return of our Lord, man. Let's click on this. Let's click on this.
In particular.
So fair use, we want to put out there. Fair use for YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, fair use. These, so we're using only these for educational purposes only. Educational purposes only. Fair use, fair use, fair use. As is stated, fair use. So let's go ahead and listen to him. This was yesterday. This came out yesterday. So let's listen to it.
Particular, those forces led by the Wagner group. But we do know that the Ukrainians continue to
hold on, but let's continue. Let me see what he got to say.
Operate in the vicinity of Soledar and continue to fight back.
A spring offensive that Belarus is supporting.
Yeah. In terms of Belarus, it is an area that we continue to keep a close eye on. We do know that Russian forces have conducted exercises with Belarus forces, but at this time, no indication of any type of offensive action that looks imminent. But again, we'll continue to closely monitor.
Also about sending tanks to Ukraine.
We're absolutely supportive of any type of defense capabilities that our international allies and partners can provide to Ukraine, to include tanks. Again, part of the fact.
Now, bear with me. Right now, he's talking about war. He's talking about the war the war they wage against Russia. Right now, is the UFO thing is gonna be? He's gonna bring it out. However, let's see, he's still running around. He's like, I want the one that is straight to the point. Right? He's talking about that. So that was yesterday that was put out there. Let me see, January. So he's going all over the place now. See how we go. Let's click on it.
U.S. government has received more than 350 new UFO reports.
So bear with me, like we say, fair use, this for educational purposes only, fair use, all right? Educational purposes only. So let's go ahead and play again.
The U.S. government has received over 350 new reports of what the U.S. government terms unidentified aerial phenomenon, commonly known as UFOs, since March of 2021, roughly half of which are so far unexplained, according to a report from the Office of the Director of National Intelligence released on Thursday. According to the report.
So on Thursday, so I'll say yesterday was Friday, so pretty much 2 days ago or 3 days ago, Thursday, this report came out on Thursday, but I believe they made it public to everybody was yesterday, I believe so, yesterday, right? It came out literally yesterday, all right?
The Pentagon office responsible for tracking and studying the sightings has preliminarily identified 163 of the reports as balloon or balloon entities. A handful of other reports have been attributed to drones, birds, weather events, or airborne debris like plastic bags. But initial characterization does not mean positively resolved or unidentified, the report cautioned. And the remaining 171 reported sightings of UAPs or UFOs continue to be unexplained by the U.S. government. Some of these uncharacterized UAP appear to have demonstrated unusual flight characteristics or performance capabilities and require further analysis, the report found. In short, the intelligence community and the Pentagon still appear to have no explanation for at least some of a series of mysterious flying objects that have been seen moving through restricted military.
Yeah, because they're the devil. They can't have understanding because they're in darkness. How can they know? They see the chariot of the Most High. They don't believe in the Bible, man. They don't believe in the Bible. They don't believe in the Bible, man. They do not believe in the Bible. Do they believe in the Bible? They don't. They don't believe in the Bible. That's why they don't understand.
Military airspace over the last several decades. The majority of the new reports came from U.S. Navy and Air Force pilots and operators who witnessed UAP during the course of their operational duties and reported the events, according to the report. Although the report warned that UAP pose a safety of flight and collision hazard to air assets that could require pilots to adjust flight patterns, the report stated that there have been no reported collisions between U.S. aircraft and UAP to date. The Defense Department, under pressure from Congress to investigate so-called UFO or UAP sightings, has actively encouraged pilots and other personnel to report unexplained sightings. The intelligence community released its first report on the matter in 2021. That report examined 144 reports of UAPs, only one of which investigators were able to explain by the end of the study. Investigators found no evidence that the sightings represented either extraterrestrial life or a major technological advancement by a foreign adversary like Russia or China, but acknowledged that as a possible explanation.
You see how these heathen, they confounded? They don't know what's going on, man. They don't know what's going on. So they confounded. They don't know what's going on. So this is all over the news right now. As we're speaking right now, if you turn on the news, you can see, right? UFO sighting surpassed 500. This is today, right? You got it. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot of report on it, right? Right? So let me see this one. Let me click on this one. Let me see. This is from PBS News, right? So bear with me, right? We're going to play that. Let's see.
It's Paul Johnson. The Secretary looks forward to continuing our shared efforts with Sweden, to providing security assistance to Ukraine, and to working together next week in Germany at the Ukraine Defense Contact Group. Readouts of these two engagements will be posted to defense.gov. Separately, Secretary Austin also attended a memorial service earlier today at the Washington National Cathedral for former Secretary of Defense Dr. Ash Carter. Secretary Austin again offers his condolences and prayers to the family of Dr. Carter, a leader whose commitment and service to the DoD and to our nation will long be remembered. And later this afternoon, Secretary Austin will host Japan's Minister of Defense HAMADA to the Pentagon for an honor cordon and bilateral meeting. The Secretary looks forward to welcoming the minister and to continuing their important discussion following yesterday's 2+2 consultative talks. We will also post a readout of today's meeting on the DoD website once it's available. And then finally, today, the Office of the Director of National Intelligence released their unclassified version of the annual Unidentified Aerial Phenomena, or UAP, report required by the National Defense Authorization Act for the fiscal year 2022. The report is available on the ODNI website, but you can also find the link on our DoD press release, which we put out a short while ago and which is also posted on defense.gov. And with that, I will take your questions. We'll start with AP Tara.
So Prima, he said the report is out there. You see, he said for the UFO, right? Let's click on it again.
the minister and to continuing their important discussion following yesterday's 2+2 consultative talks. We will also post a readout of today's meeting on the DoD website once it's available. And then finally, today, the Office of the Director of National Intelligence released their unclassified version of the annual Unidentified Aerial Phenomena, or UAP, report required by the National Defense Authorization Act for the fiscal year 2022. The report is available on the ODNI website, but you can also find the link on our DoD press release, which we put out a short while ago and which is also posted on defense.gov. And with that, I will take your questions. We'll start with AP. Tara.
There you go. So he said it. He said the report was released on our DoD, you know, the website, blah, blah, blah. You already know. So you can't know, man. This is the chariot of the Most High. Right? These are the chariot of Israel. Right? Behold the chariot of Israel. Let's bring that out. We're gonna bring that out, and then we're gonna see. Let's go over there. Right? Let me go over there quick. Okay. Let's go right there quick. I got a couple precepts, but let's go chariot of Israel. All right, let's see. Let's get it like this. Okay, let's go right there. You gotta keep in mind, man, because like I said, a lot of time, you know, it's very simple, man. Right? It's very simple. It's very, very simple. Right? Let's read this. This is the book of Psalm, chapter 68 and verse 17. The chariot of God are 20,000, even 1,000 of angels. The Lord is among them, as in Sinai, in the holy place. You understand? That's Psalm 68. Right? Let me get a couple more. Right? Some I want straight up to the point. Right? It goes straight to the point. One I want here. Let me see. Maybe I'll take this now. Let's see there. Watch this. So you gotta keep in mind. Right? You gotta understand. And I'm gonna go straight to the point. The one that we want, right? The one that we want. Okay, I want to show you. So you got the word chariot all over the place, but there's a specific one I want to show you. All right. You got to keep in mind. Chariot is just a mean of transportation. Right? That's the mean of transportation. That's what it means. Right? Is a mean that help you to move from point A to point B. And the Most High, he got plenty of chariot in heaven. Plenty. The Most High in heaven, he's looking at Esau. He got so many cars, which is nothing other than chariot. Right? Let's read this. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 4 and verse 13. Behold, he shall come up as a cloud, and his chariot shall be as a whirlwind. So there will be many. Because you can't count the whirlwind. The wind, you can't count it. Can you number wind? You can't number. That's what the scripture is saying. Behold, he shall come up as a cloud, and his chariot as a whirlwind. You see that? Let's get another one. Go get another one. Let's get the one I want. Let me see. I'll get it to 2. It won't give me the hint. All right, let's see. Behold, I'm gonna reform it quick. Salakia, let's go here. We're gonna get it. Behold, the chariot of Israel. Behold, chariot of Israel. Let's see. Here we go. Right. Let me see if that's the one I want. There we go. There we go. That's the one I want right here. Let's go right here, man. That's the one. 2 Kings 2:11. It came to pass as they still went on and talked that, behold, there appeared a chariot of fire and horses of fire, and parted them both asunder. And Elijah went up by a whirlwind into heaven. Into heaven. Watch this. The angel of the Most High, the servant, right? The prophet that served the Most High, they're coming up with what? Power, man. Let's go right here, man. Let's go right here. We're going to go straight to Jude, right? Jude, right? It's just one chapter, straight to the point, right? You got to keep in mind, the Most High, everything's in the Bible. Everything is in the Bible. Let's go read this, man. We're going to go to Jude 1 and 14, right? Understand, he said, and behold, he said, and Enoch also, the seven from Adam, prophesy of this, saying, behold, the Lord cometh with 10,000 of his saints. How are they going to come? With the chariots, whirlwind, fire horses. I mean, they're coming with all type of chariot, man. But he's so thinking that he knows everything. He act like God. Even though it's in the Bible, he doesn't value the Bible. The Bible means nothing to Esau, Edom, the devil. The deceiver, he didn't want the Bible. Because he knows if he goes in the Bible, he won't be able to deceive the people. However, he was still able to deceive the people with the Bible. Through Christianity, he was able to deceive the people. He was able to deceive the people. The wicked, huh? You see, he is coming with thousands and thousands of children, man. So he's about to go down, brother and sister. He's about to go down. He's about to go down. It is about to go down. It's about to go down. That's why we tell brother, repent, right? And keep the commandment. You know what time it is, brother and sister. We know what time it is. You know what time it is? Keep the commandment. That's what you got to do, man. We know what time it is. So we invite our people, so-called Blacks, Latino, and Native, to repent and keep the commandment. Repent and keep the commandment. Huh? You hearing the same a chariot, UFO showing, like, to be honest, so myself, literally, it was like maybe a couple of these past 2 weeks, 3 weeks, shit, I be seeing those objects. I be seeing them. Those are not plain, no joke, literally. Right? Driving back, like last time I was going to the plantation in the next thing I saw this object flying right before me. It's high, it's not a plane. And the object is moving at a very, very like mighty pace. Then when I get into Leesburg, boom, it disappeared. I don't see it no more. Go plane, you can't keep track with plane. Plane, you can't keep track. It's hard to keep track. Because plane, you know, they're going at the supersonic speed. I mean, they go, the chariot can go faster too, but I believe the Most High command them to go kind of like smooth pace. So people see here and there back and forth quick, man. So people can't see it, man. So that's the end time we're in right now. Brother need to repent. There's a lot of going on, right? There's a lot of going on. I just got this book. So what I'm going to do, Lord willing, right? I'll be sharing some of this book with you, Lord willing, when I start diving into this info. You see this book right here? It's a decent book, right? Right? You can see the book right here. It's called what? The American Book of Days by Douglas, right? It's a decent book. He exposed all the pagan day that they follow, the pagan day that you celebrate in the Christian church. He tell you. And then I got this book here too. It's a decent book, right? I'll be sharing some of it's like a Bible dictionary, right? It's a Bible dictionary pretty much, right? It's called Davis, right? You see right there? It's a good one. It's a decent one, all right? So you should definitely look into it. It's decent for decent information, things like that. You know, it's a Davis Dictionary of the Bible, 4th revised edition, right? It's not perfect, but you know, right? It goes into detailing. It tells you about things, some of this information that you don't know, that, you know, you can't find in the regular Bible. it breaks down a lot of things, right? You look for a word, you go into it, it tell you about the prophet, most of the prophet, not all of them, but you know, we're gonna use it, we're gonna dive into it to see what we're gonna come across, what we're gonna read, and we're gonna share it with you. We just want to put out there. So, brother, you see what they're pushing for? Is all hell is about to break loose. So stay in the spirit, keep in mind, right? We got to separate ourselves from this system, right? This kingdom, because the Most High is about to bring judgment. So we got to make sure that we stay in the spirit. We're keeping the commandment. We're working on the calendar, Lord willing. We're working on the calendar, Lord willing. And by the will of the Most High, Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, Lord willing, this coming week, right? This coming week, before the next Shabbat, Lord willing, we will have the calendar in English, Lord willing, Spanish, and then French. We're going to do the best. We're going to do the best to have the calendar translated. We're going to have it done. And we're going to post it on YouTube and most of the social media. We're going to post it. So brother can refer to it. Brother want to use it, they can use it. Sister want to use it, you feel free, you use it. Right? It's up to you. We're going to do the best that we can. We already start working on it, Lord willing. The Most High allow us to put it together. We're going to finish it up. And we're going to publish it. We're going to put it out there. We're going to post it on the social media. And whatever we got to do, we're going to do it. Right? We just want to put it out there so brother can know. Brother can refer to it. If you need to print it out, share it with other brother, other sister, feel free to do it. Once we have it ready, we're going to bring it out. So with that, we're going to close out. Lord willing, we hope that this lesson was edifying. So brother got to stay in the spirit. Like I said, the CBDC, Lord willing, I'm going to have to dive into that, do more research on it, and we're going to be showing you a decent video on it, right? The CBDC, the central, is a central bank, if I'm not wrong, central bank, whatever, you name it, CBDC. We're going to dive into it. We're going to get all the information together, and we're going to bring it out to our people so our people can be prepared. You already know what's going on. Stay in the spirit. Let no man deceive you. With that, we give our praises, glory, honor, power be unto the Most High, Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, Rakakodash, Aman, Kwam Yashala, we say Yahawah, BAHASHAM, HAMASHIACH, BARAK, Yahawah, BAHASHAM, HAMASHIACH, BARAK, Yahawah, BAHASHAM, HAMASHIACH, BARAK. Keep the commandment, brother and sister. Please subscribe, like the video, and share the video. Please subscribe, like the video, and share the video. All right. Shalom, family. Shalom.